Welcome back. All right, so another Hall of Fame career today. We're going to talk about Johnny Bucyk, who was also known as Chief. So Johnny Bucyk came into the league with the Detroit Red Wings, and as I mentioned in the Tim Horton video yesterday, no draft at that point. So we need to talk about drafts and busts and all that. What were they talking about? So, anyways, 55-56. He makes his debut with the Red Wings, 38 games, 1 goal, 8 assists, 9 points. Bust. In the playoffs, he had a goal and an assist for 2 points in 10 games. He did play in the All Star game, though. I think with 55, that would have been Detroit was the defending Stanley Cup champions. The way they used to have the All Star game back in the day was this is well before I was watching hockey. The defending Stanley Cup champions would go up against a team of All Stars from the rest of the NHL. Yes, I do think that's a fantastic idea. No, I don't know why they went away from it. 56-57, again with the Wings, play 66 games, 10 goals, 11 assists, 21 points. In the playoffs, 1 assist in 5 games. So Johnny Bucyk's career, not too shabby at this point, but not stellar. And so he gets traded somewhere where it becomes stellar. On June the 10th of 1957, he is traded to Boston in exchange for Terry Sawchuk. So Terry Sawchuk, widely regarded as the greatest goaltender who ever played. I've never made that claim because I didn't watch Terry Sawchuk play, but people who watched him play say he was, and I don't see any reason to doubt them. So it's a trade that kind of works out for both teams eventually, although it works out really well for Detroit right away. But 57-58, his first year of what would be many in Boston. Bucyk plays 68 games, 21 goals, 31 assists, 52 points. In the playoffs, 12 games, 4 assists. So not too bad. And then in 58-59, plays 69 games, 24 goals, 36 assists, which is ninth overall in the NHL, 60 points. In the playoffs, he has 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points in 7 games. The problem is, though, Boston's about to be a pretty bad team for a while, and so Bucyk has to suffer through that with everybody else. 59-60, 56 games, 16 goals, 36 assists, 52 points. No playoffs. 60-61, 70 games played, 19 goals, 20 assists, 39 points. And again, no playoffs, which is a recurring theme with the Boston Bruins during that era. 61-62, 67 games, 20 goals, 40 assists for seventh overall in the NHL. And 60 points. Was there playoffs? No, there was not. 62-63, and now he's getting the attention of the league. 69 games, his 27 goals are ninth overall, 39 assists, 10th overall, 66 points are 7th overall. He does play in the All-Star game that year. 63-64, plays 62 games, 18 goals, 36 assists, 54 points, and he played in the All-Star game that year as well. 64-65, 68 games played, 26 goals, which is 6th overall in the NHL, 29 assists, 55 points, which is 9th overall in the NHL, and his 3rd straight All-Star game appearance. So one thing with Johnny Bucyk to keep in mind here is he's a left winger. And we talk a lot about right wing, left wing, and the fact that there's a lot more star players that play on the right wing than on the left wing. But I don't think that detracts from Bucyk's career. Bucyk does, though, get mentioned as one of the greatest left wingers of all time. He just doesn't have quite the name recognition of a lot of the guys on the right side, I think. Anyways, 65-66, 63 games during the regular season, 27 goals, 30 assists, 57 points. And again, is there playoffs? No. 66-67, so he would be captain during that season. He wasn't captain after that season, but he'd become captain again later. 66-67, 59 games, 18 goals, 30 assists, 48 points. So now we get into the expansion era. And with expansion, production increases, scoring goes up. This has generally been a rule in the National Hockey League. And it shows 67-68, 72 games, 30 goals, which is ninth overall in the NHL, and it's the first 30-goal season in Bucyk's career. 39 assists for 69 points, which is ninth overall in the league that year. In the playoffs, 2 assists in 3 games. He's a second-team All-Star. He's second in Lady Byng voting, and he's an All-Star game player as well. When he's asked about his Lady Byng and the fact that his penalty minutes were always low, he said he played a clean game. He played a physical game, but he knew how to play the physical game without actually taking penalties. And so he never attributed it to being, a player who didn't hit or a player who didn't play that physical game. He knew where the line was. 68, 69, 70 games, 24 goals, 42 assists, 66 points. In the playoffs, he adds 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points in 10 games. As Boston's getting better, and Boston's about to get a lot better. So 69-70, he plays 76 games that season, 31 goals, 38 assists, 69 points. In the playoffs, 14 games, 11 goals, 8 assists, 19 points. So he's second in Lady Byng voting. He's an All-Star Game player, but he also wins his first of 2 Stanley Cups that season. So the Boston Bruins Stanley Cup champions, Johnny Bucyk, 15 years into his career and suddenly having the best success of his career. Better late than never. 70, 71, 78 games, 51 goals, second overall in the NHL. He is the oldest 50-goal scorer that the NHL's had. 65 assists, which is third overall in the National Hockey League that year. His 116 points, also third. So, looking at this career, I can't imagine this happening where a guy, as he hits his 30s, suddenly finds offense. Suddenly is this offensive dynamo, but definitely that's Bucyk. 7 games in the playoffs, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. He's a first-team All-Star, Lady Byng recipient, and played in the All-Star game. So he did win his first of 2 Lady Byngs that year. 71, 72, 78 games played, 32 goals, 51 assists, which is 8th overall in the NHL, 83 points, also 8th overall. In the playoffs, 15 games, 9 goals, 11 assists, 20 points. He was second in Lady Byng voting, and he wins the Stanley Cup for the second time in 3 years. So things are going pretty well for him in Boston at that point. 72, 73, 78 games played, and that's how long the season was at that point, 78 games. 40 goals, which is 9th overall in the NHL. 53 assists, 93 points, which is 7th overall in the NHL. 5 games in the playoffs, 3 assists, and he was third in Lady Byng voting. So keeping in mind that this is almost 20 years after his first year in the NHL, and he's putting up more than a point per game. So just remarkable. 73, 74, 76 games played, 31 goals, 44 assists, 75 points. In the playoffs, 16 games, 8 goals, 10 assists, 18 points, and he wins his second Lady Byng trophy that year. 74, 75, 78 games played, 29 goals, 52 assists, 81 points. In the playoffs, just the 3 games played, 1 assist, and he was second in Lady Byng voting that year. 75, 76, 77 games played, 36 goals, 47 assists, 83 points. Just remarkable, the career he put together in the playoffs. 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points in 12 games. 76, 77, he only played 49 games that year, and that was his final year as captain of the Bruins. He would relinquish the captaincy. 20 goals, 23 assists, 43 points, and in the playoffs, no points in 5 games. And injuries bring his career to an end, but I mean, it's 22 years after his career started. 77, 78, 53 games played, just 5 goals to go with 13 assists for 18 points. So struggling through that final season, and he would retire after that was done. 1,540 games played in his career, which is 17th overall all time. 556 goals, which is 29th all time. 813 assists, which is 30th all time. 1,369 points, which is 27th all time. In the playoffs, 124 games, 41 goals, 62 assists for 103 points. And yeah, again, he's the oldest player to score 50 goals in a season. Played on the uke line with Vic Stasiuk as well as Bronco Horvath, who I think I've done a career video on. I think I've done a Bronco Horvath career video. He was top 100, or he was named to the top 100 players of all time in 2017, and in 1981, the earliest he was able to, he was elected into the Hall of Fame. So once he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, there you go. He ends up in the Hall of Fame playlist for me in 2024. And quite the career Johnny Bucyk had. And he's still alive, 89 years of age. So you go, Johnny. All right, so there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. And yeah, I picked a couple of really epic careers to profile back-to-back days for all you fine people on the internet. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.